Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our third episode. Welcome to Where Everything Makes a Difference. Welcome to IG Strategies podcast, where we're talking about how to actually grow a business, how to actually do sales, how to do marketing. And we are doing it in real time with Anthony. Anthony is literally the guy that is going through all the steps one by one to show you what it's all about. So, last week we talked about proposals, and that may have been a little bit boring for you guys. So hopefully this week, Anthony's got a lot more incredible stories, because today, Anthony actually went prospecting. He actually went door to door. He spoke to businesses.
Lead generation.
And it was a big deal. So we'll start with that. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. You are the main thing here. So how'd it go?
It went wonderful. So we went in place to place. We've already found 3 or 4, even almost 6 now. We're in talks with 2. But 4 solid ones that are like, these are ones, and some are different. Some want other things. They're trying to figure out exactly, okay, what do I want as my business? What price is right? But once the price is right, you have them, they're sold. So you need to just show the value. It's okay, you have price and you work that out with them, but they need to see value too. You can't just sell them. We have to get the value for them right after. That's the biggest.
So let me ask you a question, Anthony. So you go to these clients that you've been working on for a couple of weeks now, putting their proposals together. What happens when you meet the customer? Let's hear a story of one of the customers you met and what you went and how you felt. It's more, tell us how you actually felt. Were your palms sweaty? Were you super nervous? Give us what it feels like to be in that moment.
Well, let me give you the last one. I went to this beautiful furniture place and I walk in and, you get the vibe that, okay, some people might think this is like a maze. They're stumbling over, they don't have an appreciation for furniture, the way he's laid things out. But if you're a business-minded person, you've been in the right office, the right space, or even you just in maybe meeting rooms where the tables are laid out a certain way, it looks beautiful, right? For the professional lifestyle, it was beautiful. I walked in and I said, okay, this is the story I need to tell. And it was Flow Furniture. And I walk in, Terry's a wonderful guy. And he goes, okay, we want to figure something out, but I want my wife to be here. So she's running the business. I can talk to you guys, or, she can talk to you and I run the business. He works in tandem with his wife and they've set up a beautiful space. For me, it was, how can we tell this story to the best of our ability? How can we set the scene that they've tried to set already with the furniture being laid out a certain way? How can we truly show people that when they want to lay out a room, this is the place to set the stage with their furniture, and any of their appliances they sell there. It's professional grade stuff, and it makes any room look beautiful, in my opinion. I want to tell that story. This is the place to find it.
So Anthony he's so good at like giving the description of what he saw, but he always it's like all the time we ask him a question. So I want to know, guys, and I want everyone to be a part of this. So because a lot of people that are listening to this podcast, I assume that they're also going to be a little bit nervous when they're knocking on doors. They're going to be a little bit nervous when they're talking to customers. So what did you do to open the door? Like what was your feeling, you yourself as Anthony, not as the furniture store, as you yourself? You go in there. How did you? Like, were you nervous? Were you scared? Walk us through that a little bit.
He was about I want to say second last person that I went to. So he wasn't nervous as so much as you're like, I'm just hoping it happens. And that's how you're going to feel after you had a few. But the confidence shouldn't dwindle. I was still there. He was at the back. He was working on looked like some office things, some papers. I'm like, okay, I just want to find the guy. I go to the back. He's there. Okay. And I'm like, I give the pitch. This is what we do. This is who we are. Give them, introduce yourself, be honest, be confident. And, you get the result of eventually he's like, all right, we're going to be in talks. The only way you get to even talks is your confidence can't dwindle, right? You see, I go door to door, walk through any door. That's your best bet. Don't ever feel shy. Never be shy.
Yeah. And that's one thing, that was one of the things that even alerted me to Anthony, is that the guy is just like, no fear, all hands on deck. Let's go. And that's apparent, right? And I think one thing that I can say about that, it's just so important that you have to be able to always transmit your own confidence, because if you're weak or you're shy, or you're intimidated, then the guy or the girl or whoever's making the decision at this business to decide to work with you or not, they're going to be like, if this guy's nervous, how can I trust him? So you have to be your biggest step first, so then the people can actually say to themselves, okay, he's super confident. Looks like he knows what he's talking about. I trust him. I believe him. Whereas other times you'll find out that people that aren't confident, that aren't having that much trust, you can't work with them.
It's like if you don't know yourself, how can a business know you? You have to be familiar with what you have to offer, right? And we're going to get into it a bit to our services, but if it go beyond your services, if you don't know yourself, they don't really, it's not even to them about your services, it's who's the person offering, right? If I offer to babysit my friend's kids, I better know what that house looks like, how I should take care of it. If you're just going to walk in a home and you've never been in there, how can they trust me to like watch their kids or take care of the home? I'm going to leave a mess.
So let's go through that. So Anthony goes, knocks on the door, client shows potential interest. Now, what about someone that showed zero interest? Let's hear a bad story. Give us the worst experience you had.
You know, I went into a law firm, and the second I walk in, oh no, we have someone, we're good. So off the rip. And it was the worst part was I had to ding. There was a little bell, you know, you always ding it, usually a restaurant. I'm like, this feels off already in the law firm space. I'm not I'm not calling them for service up. You know, I'm not calling you up to the desk to give me, you know, food, right? So when I walk in, I'm like, why am I at a law firm on Walkerville? It's a very decent neighborhood. I think very nice. The way, you know, the streets are beautiful, very nice area. Out of any place, why would I walk in a law firm and have to ding a bell for service like a restaurant? Already that felt off. You know, no one's coming. I walk in, you know, oh, how can we help you? But she was very stonewall. Like her face was deer in the headlights, you know, not someone that should even be at the front desk, really, in my opinion. And she was just giving such a, you're not welcome, your energy. And I'm like, that's just the wrong energy to give when someone's looking for legal advice or anything else to do with the law. That's not someone I'd want to go to. So I'm already thinking like, okay, working with them is already going to be hard because they, you know, they might not want our services. And then when she said, we're good, we already have someone, I was almost like, it's almost like relief. I'm like, all right, cool. We didn't waste our time because this is someone that you wouldn't even want to work with them, that the unprofessionalism they gave.
So I think that touches on a really good point, actually, is that being aware of who your client is and the willingness to want to work with them. Because, you know, everybody wants to line their pockets. Everybody wants to have a bunch of clients. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to make a bunch of money. And of course, this is the priority. But, you know, when you pick the wrong client, that I don't think any money is actually worth having the wrong client that is just completely giving you a hard time. And I know this exists in every business, whatever it is, there's always going to be a customer that you're like, you know what, it would have been better for me never to have this association.
That's the funny thing about when you go door to door, right? You don't know you're speaking to the character of a person, right? This is the personality, the face of their business. I need to know that, you know, my time is used wisely. I chose this place and I'm trying to offer services to them. How will it be received, right? What's their response to what we're offering in the first place? Can they see the value? And if they can't, that's where I think you're wasting your money, right? And that's where I think, you know, in the equipment you've placed, but you also feel like they're wasting their money. So you're wasting your time, they're wasting their money, to be fair, right? Because yes, you've paid for the equipment, you've done all that stuff, and you might be paying a team, outsource it, whatever it is, but they don't realize they're actually wasting their money more, right? And their own time by not seeing the value of something that could be good, but they're going to go to their niece, their nephew, their son, whatever, give it to them for free, and they're actually hurting their business. You know, I actually went to one guy, and the worst thing was he said he actually wants to go out of business. He's working on reducing his business because they're already so busy. I was baffled. I walked out because I was just so confused. I'm like, I don't know what just happened. Someone just told me they actually want to lessen their business. It was a car shop. Just because you're busy doesn't mean there's no room for growth. Never make that mistake. You know, just because things are rough and you have a lot on your plate, get the right people. They'll take that off your plate. That's why we're here to do marketing, I think.
Yeah, no, well said. Well said. So we got the good customer, we got the bad customer. So when you're meeting with these clients, when you're meeting with these potential clients, what is that like? You finally get a chance to sit them down. They're going to give you your undivided attention. What are you hearing are the problems? What are businesses these days struggling with? What are their pain points?
And I'll tell you, right? We had really solid ones. For me, what that was like sitting down was I'd go to the cafe and the manager, maybe not the owner's there, but at least he's going to give me the second. He gives me the manager. Manager comes, brings chai, brings the pastries, whatever it is. This was a great setting because he admitted, okay, I was a little bit behind schedule. I'm coming. I'll make it as soon as I can. I'm waiting in there. Beautiful space, very friendly staff. He made sure his staff knew what they were doing, how to give me whatever, how to receive me. When he gets there, though, he acts just like his staff. So the best meeting is if you have other people there, your staff, and you're the top, show them. If I see the respect that you're showing them, I want to work with you readily already, right? Because I'm seeing, if I'm not working for them, we're just going to be their marketing guy. I'm not their actual staff in this business. But I see that he respects his staff. Wow, this is an amazing place to be. And we can show that so much easier if we can actually have the image that we want to show, which is, wow, this person really is who we want to show on screen. It's not just facade. We're not masquerading who this person really is. It's so much easier to show you if you really are who your staff is and who you've trained your staff to be for your business.
So you remind me with the one story in this movie that when you went to the law firm and they didn't give you a great time, but they definitely weren't as great as they could have been. It reminds me of the receptionist, right? And what's funny is we actually have an incredible service with our AI chat receptionist. And this AI chat receptionist is literally exactly that. It is literally to replace that horrible receptionist. So the AA chat receptionist, for you guys that don't know, because a lot of people are wondering, hey guys, what do you actually do? Like we saw a lot of them in the comments and some of our letters in the inbox there asking, okay, so like what is it that you guys are doing? And basically we're a marketing firm, PR firm, social media firm, government relations firm. And our newest products is all into AI. And what's really great about the AI chat and receptionist is that they will replace that exact hindrance in your business. So someone will answer the phone all day, every day, 24 hours a day. So this is automatically the best thing for a business. There's no call waiting. Nobody's too busy to answer the phone. Nobody's tired. Nobody wants to. No, as soon as the phone rings, the phone is answered. So number one, done. Number two, we are able to train this chat receptionist to be fully aware of your business. So it knows the easy things, right? It'll know hours of operation, holidays that you're closed. That's the easy stuff. The really amazing thing is that we can teach it everything it needs to know. So if you're in the industry of law and you want to specialize in family law, as an example, we're able to teach it a couple of the different questions that are most commonly asked. We're able to teach it who the lawyers are that are there. And then it can just run on its own and it can do everything. And if you work with us more, we're able to actually book it into your calendar system. So the entire process from beginning to end, the AI receptionist can actually handle. And this is all on the phone. Throw it on your website, and going to do the exact same thing. So it'll chat with anyone that lands on your website, message them, book the lead, do everything you want, all without you even knowing. And all you got at the end of the day is a confirmation in your calendar, or you get an email transcript of what transpired to let you know exactly what happened. All this, and there's nobody saying, hey, you're giving me too much attitude, or hey, I was on lunch, why are you interrupting my lunch? So it's a huge thing.
And he speaks to our services because that's the thing, is being of service. Then there's value in that, right? It's not just go beyond the AI. We have our professional equipment. We're not going to come in and, you can film videos on your phone. You can film reels on your phone. You can take as many stills. You could take stills until the sun goes down and it's moon up. But what's the benefit of that? You can do it yourself, but do you know how to put it out there? Do you know the right consistency? Do you just do it one off and then 4 days later, there's nothing? Consistency is key. So we'll give you the consistency. We know how to schedule. We know how to make daily solid content again and again and again. We're not a one-hit wonder. We're going to come in with the right equipment, the right team, and the right person to film it and to make sure it's all laid out right. We're not going to be the receptionist you have to ding me to get me. There's no bell. We're already there. We've answered the call. You've called us. Why would we make you call again? Right.
And that makes a great, because there's a lot of businesses when it comes to their social media that they manage it themselves, and they do a great job. They do a great job. Everything looks great. They got a good camera. But you know what? The number one problem is consistency. Consistency, because when you're whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, you're a professional, you're a mechanic, you're selling used cars, whatever the industry is, if you're not paying someone to do it for you on a regular basis, it'll never be done on a regular basis. It's not the same. Yeah. So that's the thing that people have to really understand, is that no matter what happens, when you do it yourself, sure, you might be able to buy a $5,000 camera like what we have, or you might be able to buy a $300 microphone, or you could buy all the same gear that we have for sure. It's not a big deal. People got money, so you could buy it. But what you can't do is get somebody there, like a coach, right? When you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer and you go and you lift,
I should do.
That guy there is motivating you every day. So, I'm not in the mood, I'm tired, I'm busy. No, The trainer's there, and he's gonna pull out the whip and he's gonna beat you until you do it. And that's what we are. Now, again, we don't have a whip, but the idea, of course, is that we definitely will make sure you're consistent because we're gonna show up. You're paying us to be consistent, but we're gonna force you to be consistent. So many people got gym memberships and they don't go. Oh yeah. Right. So when you have a gym membership and you don't go, okay, that's like working with some agencies. But when you work with us, as an example, you pay, we show up, content created, boom, you're on the right trajectory. Because all these social media platforms, they really, really want consistency. Yeah. They hate anything that's once a week, once every. You want daily content. And the only way to do that, in my humble opinion, either you hire someone in-house that knows what they're doing, or you can work with me, you can work with Anthony, you can work with us. So one thing I wanted to end off on, because Anthony's done such a great job, he met with so many clients, to be quite honest. He met with so many clients this week. So, all that sweat, all that bleeding he did with writing the proposals, it worked off because now he's hopefully he's going to start collecting them. And it's in the good progress, but things for people to understand, right? One thing that I wanted to get off my chest before we end off, because we're really over time. I think people are definitely not paying attention all the way to the 30-minute mark, so it'll probably be edited. It'll probably be edited. But one thing I wanted to make very, very clear is the most important thing that people have to understand is this holistic view. Yeah. And I think it's important to understand that when people are going to do marketing, you need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. It's not going to be, okay, there are a la carte options, and we offer a la carte options because people have budgets and people have dreams and ideas, and they see things one way or another. But to be honest, and this is coming out of the mouth of the CEO, you don't want anything a la carte. You want someone from my team to work with you to create a plan, and that marketing plan will have different objectives. And it'll have different ideas, and it'll have different metrics and different moments for them to measure it. And that's what you want. You want someone to actually care about your business enough that they will actually help you with the plan, help you delegate the plan, help you execute the plan, and you keep all the money. That's the part where we have nothing to do with you. It's your money at the end, right? But you do just social media and your website sucks, that's a disaster. You do just Google ads and your website sucks, that's another disaster. You do social media and you have a great website, but you don't know anything about Google ads and you're spending 5 times more than you need to be, another disaster. So it is truly a holistic approach if done correctly. Now, if you want it a la carte, sure, we'll do it a la carte. But I promise you the results are much better when you have the proper people responsible for the entire thing. And I think we'll end it on that.